Okay, hey guys, how are you again? Here we are. I'm not editing these videos that I'm doing here today, so I just posted two, and hopefully you're not too offended by them. But if I swear a lot, I'm going to put an 18 restriction on it, even though it doesn't really mean anything. Um, I'm just doing it just to let you guys know that, yeah, you might find it offensive. So anyway, we were going over one of my former heroes that I think might just be having a mini nervous breakdown, which we all have. I mean, God knows I have on this channel. I have three channels, and I've gone off the wall a tad at times. We all do. Okay. Um. So we have the latest 2024 presidential general election polls. Okay, excuse me. Uh, This is Monday, January 29th, which, yesterday. No. So we've got the general election, Trump versus Biden. Biden is up. Colorado. Now you see, you've got these Western states being taken over by the illegals. So that's too bad. Colorado used to be really cool. I bet you can't even go camping there anymore. Okay. I don't know how all of a sudden Colorado is a separate issue, but okay. General election, Trump versus Biden. Let's go into this. Let's see if we can get some polls. Trump is winning in all of them so far. It's extremely narrow margin, just enough to do the STEAL. I can't even say it. If you would say that during 2020, you'd get taken down immediately, and I think it's 3 months now. Okay, so we have on Friday they did a general election: Trump versus Biden versus Kennedy versus Phillips. Who is Phillips? Is that someone new? We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but okay. Let me see here. Okay. Well, we have Trump up 5, Kennedy at 8, Biden at 34, Trump 39. So those are 10 points. Where would they normally go? So if you're only Trump 5, it would be real easy to stick your votes in there and say it was Kennedy that did it. He took all the Trump votes, or it was Kennedy that did it. He took all the Biden votes. Simple. That being said, even though he's out there polling, he's running a campaign supposedly called Kennedy 24. And he wants you to donate to him because, he needs the money. But he's not really out campaigning. He's not doing events. And I was reading his tweets over the weekend, and I just about shit my pants again. Are you starting to get really concerned? This was 3 hours ago. That everything this nation is supposed to represent. God, Robert, based on your viewpoint, he is such a narcissist. He reminds me of his brother, of my brother that's been married and divorced twice. Okay. And his main concerns are making sure his hair is done and the right color, and going to the gym and watching sports. I mean, I don't know. What an empty life. But there's a dystopian, that there's, that's being used way too much right now too. There's there is a dystopian nightmare right around the corner. Well, I think we've already like reached that point during I'd say January 2021. We reached that point when we had an installation and an overthrow, complete with the military with facial masks on, so you couldn't even see who they were. Were they even military or were they actors? Who knows? That there's so much infighting between us. Yeah, we can't even sit at a dinner table together. Well, a lot of times that's not really even because it's not because of politics. I think if people go and sit down to dinner, they are generally going to know where their family member or friend stands as far as their politics or their views. However, just having a nice, decent meal at a decent restaurant is getting harder and harder to do because on this block anyway, many places are just closed because no one wants to work because they can just get bennies. There is a great place I've been going to since the early 90s, and I keep wanting to stop in there, and it's just a dinner place. There aren't big TVs all over. It's not a sports bar, that type of thing. But it just, the food is really good, and the atmosphere is still kind of, they haven't changed the atmosphere much, but it's cute. It's kitschy, and it's very well liked because the food is decent. But they cannot find anyone that wants to do the job, which is weird because it's like 6 blocks from a dorm. Unless the dorm isn't in use anymore. I'm pretty sure it is. And you could make really good tips because the people have money here, or nearby anyway. And it just sort of shows that he's a bit out of touch. I'm not sure who this guy is. Del Bigtree. He's changed a little bit, hasn't he? His appearance looks a bit different. Well, it's unfortunate that Del, by the way, he doesn't have any Native American heritage either. Okay. Let's listen to him. I used to find him, pretty attractive and really cool, but
home and that everything's going to work out and be okay and we're going to be the greatest nation in the world? Or are you starting to get really concerned?
Oh, I've been concerned since January of 2009 when Hussein was inaugurated. And I read up on him and every single thing. Actually, it was worse than what I thought it would be.
That everything that this nation is supposed to represent is like crumbling down around you.
Okay, well, this has been, and that's what was said during the Trump 2016. And that's fine. This is his campaign. Del Bigtree taking a walk while doing a video. What is with his head? Okay. New FDA ruling exempts clinical trials with minimal risk from informed consent. That means that researchers can experiment on you without your knowledge or permission, so long as they claim that what they are testing is safe. Okay. I have no idea what is this in context to, and then he does a whole bunch of I don't know. And this is, honestly, when I read that, this is what I knew. This opens the door for testing of new medicines via the water aerosolized spraying. Oh yeah, I mean, if Kennedy wants to bring the chemtrails to light and tell the public about this, it would be helpful. The U.S. Army tested germ warfare dispersion in the New York City subway in '66. We could get into that, but if you're running for president, that's going to be one of those controversial things that people won't believe because the government would never ever do that, and you're just crazy, which I've been told before by my family. So I don't talk about it anymore. The money laundering scheme continues. Most U.S. military aid to Ukraine ends up in the coffers of the U.S. defense industry. That doesn't necessarily make sense because, okay, the defense industry is aiding, okay, but corrupt Ukraine officials are taking, no kidding. You see what I'm saying? But, okay, this isn't running a campaign. Then he shows up with Cuomo again. And he's tan, middle of winter, he's tan, he's, looking completely filtered. He's got, and by the way, these two are friends. And that Cuomo guy was friends with JFK Jr. But this isn't running a campaign. You can tell he's sort of kicked back in his chair, and he's saying, well, this is wrong and that's wrong. Okay, that's fine, but what is your plan? And then we get into the MLK. Or no, Dexter Scott King. Okay. Of course, he puts up, okay, it's totally, this says it all. Democrats are the evil empire, follow Tim Pool. I wouldn't follow Tim Pool, who has never taken his hat off in 20 years and is a PSYOP person himself. This is just crazy shit. As president, I will stand with United Steelworkers and oppose the at first I thought it said Nixon, the Nippon deal. I don't know what that is. When was this picture taken? You see, he's not out campaigning. He's not going to the swing states and campaigning, because if he wanted to get some traction before hitting the real big campaign cycle, he would be doing it now, and he'd be doing it here in my state. But he doesn't leave any areas unless they are warm or over the weekend, every weekend. This Lipscomb guy, I was in a big, huge Twitter thing with him too. Yeah, whatever. Okay. I'm trying to find something specific. Has he pulled it? Over the weekend, did he? Again, this is what he was doing over the weekend.
Future U.S. president was such a ripoff!
He's an elitist. Every weekend, he goes whaling, he goes falconing, he goes surfing. He's still leading his elite social lifestyle. The reason why I say elite is people who from out east who grew up there, they have, I've skied Vail, I've done all this shit. I'm more of like kind of a campground kind of person. It's just my personality and my mindset, and I've never lived in a warm climate. I mean, I'm so bundled up right now, you wouldn't believe it. I've got on, thermal underwear, a big, huge turtleneck. I've got a heater going. I've got big, huge, I'm freezing my ass off, and it's only like 30 degrees out, And yeah, but he goes to, these beautiful The sun wasn't even out at all this weekend for us. So he goes, maybe to Northern Cali or out to Vail or somewhere in Colorado and then flies. Is he flying private jet? See what I'm saying? He's not. Is he driving a Prius, an electric car? How is he getting from place to place? He goes out to Hawaii. He's with Cheryl, who's had way too much plastic surgery. I mean, she just looks so tight. She looks as tight as a fucking drum. And this is his campaigning. Trump is out doing speeches and shit, getting like as many people as he can packed in a room in Nevada. And this is what he's doing. He's skiing. All right, well, I'll never be able to ski again since my pelvis has been run over by a Dodge Ram. Not that that I'm not jealous. Maybe I could, I suppose. I don't know. Go in a sit and sled or something. I don't, you never say never. So he's really not, oh, look at this evil fucker. Ugh, look at his face. See, he's got the chin implant that went wrong. A Night of Laughter, hosted by Cheryl Hines. Ugh. I'm so turned off by these people. But I was doing some searches a couple days ago and I came upon something very weird. Okay? And it was, and by the way, never mind. It was, and I was in the hospital during this time, so I missed it. I was very sick. I don't think I would have remembered anything. I was sick with an infection they gave me and almost died. Are you glad that happened? That didn't. Okay, so Robert Kennedy Jr., July 2023. Fart. Well, watch this. The fart story in the New York Post. See, you can't get it anymore. This story about the fart, apparently he had a fundraiser in July where there was a fight between two people about global warming. And it was on, I believe, the Upper East Side of New York City. And someone farted. I don't know if I can get this. Yesterday, I was having some trouble getting it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. press dinner explodes in a war. Oh my God. A war of words and farting. I looked at the date. I said, well, no wonder I missed it. Well, I can't even pull this up. Okay. And then there's just some weird music playing in the background, so I'm not going to bother playing. Camelot ain't. Well, now my computer is jumping around. The White House hopeful, you know what? And he could have done something, but he's not. I guess the point I'm trying to make is he's not campaigning. He's going on television. He takes pictures of himself working out on the ski slopes, surfing, falconing, in a gym, doing some bullshit on Venice Beach. He clearly has had like some sort of plastic surgery tightening. He's always really tan. And he claims he's going to be the next president just because. And he knows I mean, you people can't possibly think this guy, he's not campaigning. Now, on the other hand, and I am not digging what he says right now, but on the other hand, if you go to Rumble, well, I'm not really into right side broadcasting. They've blocked me because I said to end the genocide. Honestly, I put up one thing on their live stream. So this is when he was out on the slopes. This is what Trump was doing.
And I said, give me the top 10 things. And I was dealing with a woman from the State Department who's
a blue city, as you know, has been attacking President Trump to pay 83box.com/Trump. Do that right now. You'll get a free ground beef. 898-898-9898. Trump has been endorsed.
They are Schofield Biblers. They are the evangelicals. They are the Judeo-Christianers, which is, you can't be, it's the exact opposite. You can't kill Jesus and be on his side at the same time.
Endorsed by multiple state leaders there in South Carolina. It's getting shorter. I'm still seeing, as far as the eye can see, a line of people, and it's starting to get
in the caucus. When I talked to the president, I said,
I'll tell you what, I feel sharper now than I did 20 years ago. I really do. I don't know. It's probably not true. It's probably not true.
And you know what? He probably is. And I'm not just, I mean, yeah, I do like him. I don't like the people around him at fucking all, but I like him. And I'm voting for him, and I support him, and I don't care what kind of charges you throw at him.
And I think we ever needed their help. Let's say we were attacked. I don't believe they'd be there. I don't believe. I know the people. I know them. It was the worst speech I think I've ever seen. And I listened to MSDNC and CNN, and they said, this had shades of FDR. I said, you got to be. You know, FDR was a very good speaker, very elegant speaker. They said it was shades of FDR. I don't think so. You looking good, doctor?
Someone got sick.
Thank you, doctor. Great job. Thank you. I'm getting a thumbs up. They have a great group here. We have a great group of people. All right, let's get going, right? Come on, let's go. Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. And that great supporter, I want to thank you. They've been here so long and standing in the sun. The so-called border security deal Biden is gushing out and pushing out is not designed to stop illegal immigration. It's designed to continue the invasion of America while sending billions of dollars.
We have a real problem with that, too. But in the meantime, well, he's, you know, this guy in his late 70s is out campaigning. This is what he's doing. He's posting this shit on his Twitter account. So on January 27th, this is what Kennedy was doing. Yeah! With that music in the background. Okay, and so, see, this is not going to change. Torah bright. Torah, as in the Torah. So he's out hanging out with Olympic gold medalists. It's not every day you get to rip the slopes, but you do though, right? But you do. In the meantime, you've got this dude has been out campaigning every freaking day, practically, since 2015, or several times a week.
To Ukraine and other countries.
So what I'm saying is if you can't draw people in and behave at this level of professionalism and be able to take the bullshit day after day, and it does take a special kind of person to do that. I couldn't. I can do. It might not sound that way on these videos, but I I am at nowhere near the high level. And right now I'm dealing with some personal, extremely difficult injury issues, like life-threatening bullshit that I pulled my ass out of. But and it's been hard for me since I had to crawl around in the snow a few weeks ago. I used every muscle and bone and joint in my body. I overused it, and I'm supposed to be more like kind of resting a bit, and or just maybe doing gentle exercises to get my strength back. And instead I've had to go full on through BS, you know. And we had some bad weather and some bad ice storms, and it was basically crawling around snowbanks that were solid ice, so they were ice banks. And that went on for about 12 days, almost 2 solid weeks, and that wore my body down. And it just created a great deal of swelling, and I feel very uncomfortable. You know, I can sit down and do a video, but well, I do everything anyway, just as much slower than normal. Or I put things off. Like if I want to do laundry, I might put my laundry off for a day. I have to use a laundry with a few other people. And it's 45 steps up and down, and it's hard. And so, yeah, I mean, that takes a lot of my energy. But, and we've had no sun. And today it was sunny for about 3 hours, which was really great. But when you're doing a job like that and you're having to just be on all the time and be aware of what's going on, but still be on, and he can do that. He's one of those people. And that takes a long time to kind of develop, especially being in real estate. That gives you, and being successful in real estate, you have to sort of be that way, because someone will throw a whopper at you, a question or something weird, or something will happen, and you've got to retain your professionalism but still be out selling at the same time. And sitting with some law books and shooting up some heroin like RFK Jr., we get that you're in shape, but like just the crime alone, you know, okay, let's go.
And you know, Ukraine.
He hasn't addressed those issues.
It's an interesting case. People always want to know my feeling. Number one, we're in for 200 billion plus, and the European nations are in for 20 billion. And it's more important for them. And don't you think they should equalize? Nobody asks them. It's like I did with NATO. I said, we're paying for NATO, and we don't.
Basically what he's saying, we're taking on all this responsibility to protect you. You're doing jack shit for us. What the fuck? This is bullshit. I like that.
Get so much out of it. And you know, I hate to tell you this about NATO. If we ever needed their help, let's say we were attacked, I don't believe they'd be there.
No way.
I don't believe. I know the people. I know them. I can tell you country by country who.
There should be a standing O for that. And I can tell you right now, if I was there, I would have started it. But people don't understand this. They just understand what Sean Hannity tells them. Or there's no response. But what he's saying, I applaud.
Who would be there and who, but I don't believe they'd be there. But I took care of NATO. I said, you got to pay your bills. If you don't pay your bills, we're not going to be there to support you. And the following day, the money came rolling into NATO. But
I don't think that what he just said is so important, and it's just a slice. Yet who's going to pick up on that? What he's saying is that whole war was about NATO, was about Ukraine being in NATO, was about basically putting weapons in the face of Putin when Putin didn't do anything. I mean, You that is